Hey YouTube, it's Trev here, Summit or Nothing. As we are approaching that point of lockdown when they're going to let us out back into the wild camping, a lot of people out there will probably be deciding which tents to buy if you haven't already. If you're interested in wild camping, hiking, backpacking, budget gear reviews, then Summit or Nothing is the place for you. So make sure you subscribe and ring that bell for more backpacking and outdoors videos. So I'm going to have a look through my tents. I'm not going to put them all up. I'm just going to talk through plenty of videos of me putting them up, so if you want a closer look at each tent, there'll be a link below in the video description. Some of these I've compared so you can see the different weights, but this is just me talking about what I like about each tent. There's links below to all these tents in the video description. Here they are. These are the ones I've used anyway. I've got more. You can see they start off small and they get larger. Doesn't mean that's the best or worst, but we're going to start up the top end. Having a look at this tent here is the OEX, an OEX Fox 2 tent. 2 poles, that's it. One to go down on the front and one larger one to go over the back. And just stick that in there and then into the other side. This was the one that takes some getting in, so you feel like you're going to break it. Right, I'm in there now. But yeah, it has torn down here. See, you've got a rip here. Let's get this coat off. Here it is. Looks like a kite, doesn't it? It's not been a bad tent, to be honest. For its price, if you're just starting out, this can't be a bad tent to try. It might be a bigger package than the rest. Missus. And you don't just have to have it in red, there are other colours, but it's a go outdoors product, so go outdoors at the moment, possibly facing administration, so I don't know what's going to happen to the OEX brand if they do go. It's a tunnel tent, fits 2 people. So far I've used 2-man tent because you seem to get a bit more size inside for a little bit more weight, so I've always gone 2-man tent. So the Fox was relatively easy to put up. It was a case of having to put the inner skin up first and then the outer over it, which is a bit of a hindrance if you're putting a tent up in wet. You know, you're going to get the inside skin wet most probably. But saying that, when it was up, it was sturdy, it felt solid, it's a good material, and it feels quite resilient. But because it's so resilient, obviously it's a little bit heavier than most. But that being said, I've only ever used it the once because I've got other options. The next one I'm going to discuss, this one is the VANGO BANSHEE 200. VANGO are a prominent contender in the field of outdoors activities, and the VANGO BANSHEE is one of their most popular tents amongst hikers and backpackers. It's a low-lying 2-man tent, relatively light, and comes at a reasonable price, selling brand new for around £120. Great price for a well-known brand. Now, it's an older tent. This is my very first tent. It's much the same design as the OEX Fox 2. I think it came in a little bit lighter, whereas the Fox 2 has a door either side, which is always handy. This only has one door up one side. But saying that, the VANGO Pro that you buy now, I've been told, has a door either side, so I need to get another VANGO tent at some point and sort of have a look at how they've updated. The benefits with this one, the stuff sack. You can see it's got the side opener there, you can just pull it open. You've got plenty of room in there to shove all your tent and that in. It goes together, the inside skin and the outside skin clip together, and you can leave them together. The beauty of that is that you can throw that tent up in the rain without getting the inner skin wet. Now it's more roomy than I remembered, to be honest. The last time I saw it set up, we was up at the Brecon Beacons and my friend Den used it, and I was quite impressed with the sort of size of it. Those 2 tents, similar shape, similar designs. The VANGO just about pips the Fox 2, but then it is like double the price. Next we're moving on to my NATUREHIKE tents. The next size down is the NATUREHIKE Star River 2. Ta-da! Home for the night. Let's see how that holds up. It's a decent tent, it's roomy enough, but it does have a few faults. It's a bit flappy, as I said. The crossbar is a bit of a fiddle. The beauty of having a tent with 2 doors, you can just see right through there. So I can sit out taking the views from either side. Not that there's much to look at the moment. Now this isn't a bad tent. It's a little bit heavier, but it's more of a dome than the other tents. It's got a door either side. It's nice and roomy. For one man, it possibly is a little bit too cold. I've been in there and it's been harder to heat with just yourself in there. This version also has a snow skirt, which would be fine if I was camping anywhere in the snow, but when you're up on Dartmoor and the wind's whipping around, it doesn't half flicker through the night, and it kept me up. Quite frustrating. It's not a bad little tent. It's quite lightweight for its size. It's a freestanding, so you've got a ground sheet you put up, then the skeleton, then you can clip the inner up and then throw the outer skin on over the top of that, or you can do it the opposite way round if you wanted. Now the Cloud Up 2 NATUREHIKE Up, whether it's up right, because I've done it, so it's getting idiot tested here. The freestanding design enables you to reposition the setup without having to take it all down. Just be careful when doing this in strong winds. The tent that we own is an upgrade, so it has a few minor improvements over older versions. It's dealt with rain, wind and snow, and has so far kept me dry and relatively warm. The temperature in here is a lot warmer than outside. I've been out. That's noticeable in here. I'm not in my bedding yet, and I'm not in my second layers. It's just a tidy little tent. The stuff sack is like the one where you stuff it from the end, but it's a nice sort of size. You don't struggle to get it in there, to be honest. I think I remember with the Fox 2 it was quite a ball ache to get it all back in, but this is lovely to get in. It's nice to put up. It's a freestanding. This did used to be a 3-limbed tent, but they've upgraded it now. It's got 4 limbs. It's got plenty of points to tie off on, but I think it always needed one more, so they give you enough guide ropes inside, and I've managed to tie off another guide rope to the back window, and that has made all the difference in strong winds. But it's lightweight, it's easy to bang up. You can clip the outer skin up first and then clip the inner to it if you wanted. You could probably use it as a bit of a tarp shelter if you wanted. There's plenty of options to reduce weight, but there's other videos about that. I'll put them all in the links below. The downfall with the Cloud Up 2 is that there is only one entrance at the front, so you are getting in and out the same way, dragging all your wet clothes in through the front. But it's got a nice sort of size vestibule, so you can keep gear outside should you want your dirty old boots and things like that. But definitely one of my tents of choice. Now you can see the size sort of differs dramatically by the time we get down to this. Most of you will have seen these tents, the Lantern 2. I'm in the Lantern again. Let's have a look at it. Keeping low. Definitely becoming my tent of choice actually. I really love it. For the summer, I will get the thicker version for the winter as well, I think. There's loads of room in here. The 2 doors. And it's fairly easy to put up. And really easy to take down. Now this tent is a beaut because it's so lightweight, it's so compact. You put it up with your hiking poles. So if you carry hiking poles with you, there you go, you've already reduced the weight. Basically again, the outer skin and the inner skin is all clipped together, but you can change it out. I've got a lightweight summer skin. You can upgrade them and get the winter skins put on the inside to keep it a bit warmer, because that is a bit cold. It's also white, so it's a glaring white colour. So not ideal for stealth camping. I will at some point get myself one of the darker colours because it is a great tent. A little bit more fiddly to put up. I tend to struggle putting this one up every time I do something wrong, but then it's so few and far between when I take it out, so I need to get out again. This might be the first tent I take out this year, to be fair. I do find I take a few extra pegs whenever I take this one. I am an idiot, but yeah, I've used an extra peg or 2 here and there just to make sure it's all secured and doesn't ride up on the ground sheet. Yeah, it's got a door either side, plenty of room. The vestibule's a fair size, so you could just lean out your door and do your cooking in your jet boil or your Trangia, whatever. Last but not least, it's this one. Now this is as lightweight as you come. This is my DD HAMMOCKS SUPERLIGHT TARP. I had absolutely no intention of tarp camping at all until I took a look inside Nathan's and was impressed by the room inside.
Trev stuck his nose in the door and sort of seen the space.
God, you've got loads of room in there as well. Although we both went for the olive green version, this tarp comes in a variety of earthy colours, making it ideal for any stealth campers. So, just a tarp shelter. I've taken it out a few times. I've had some comfortable nights in it and some not so comfortable. You are open to the elements. You can't close off the outside when you're in one of these. Some people take a ground sheet with it. If you're going to do that, you just swap it out for the lantern really, and then take a whole tent. Nafe's used these a lot and he lost his enthusiasm for camping, so I think if he'd have been going down the lighter tent route, perhaps he'd still be camping. So we're going to be seeing about that anyway. He's coming out with us soon. Again, this is put up with your poles, so nice and lightweight. It's another one where I always seem to mess up. It's so few and far between when I put these up that it takes me a little while to get my head back into how it goes up. And the last time I went out in it, I couldn't get it tight and it just flapped all night. But then when I looked at where I camped from a distance, it was pretty exposed up there, so I'm not surprised it flapped about. But saying that, I think I'm going to pack this when I do my Dartmoor in a day hike, just so I've got a little bit of protection should I get stuck out in the night. I can just bang this one up and sleep in the tent. So I'm hoping it's not going to be a camping trip. I'm hoping I can achieve it all in a day, but it's going to be a big day, so we'll see. Anyway, there's my tents. Thanks ever so much for watching. See you all soon. Cheers.